Hiya, welcome back to Green Hill Gaming, where I share my passion of video games with the whole wide world. In this live stream, while playing an actual remaster, Spyro Reignited Trilogy, I'll be discussing why Take-Two, the parent company of Rockstar Games, are an embarrassment to the video game industry. So sit back, relax, but as always, and more importantly, enjoy the live stream. So it'll be a discussion slash gameplay live stream, just sharing my live stream. Give me a few moments. Okay, so I want to kick things off by quoting the boss of Take-Two Interactive. Okay, so on March 3rd, 2021, GameSpot wrote an article, and I'm going to read part of that article. Okay, so Take-Two boss on remasters, and he quotes the boss of Take-Two: "We don't just port titles over." Take-Two boss believes there is reason why remasters from his company may perform better than the competition. Take-Two's top executive has spoken about remasters, saying what separates his company's games from the competition is a focus on quality and making sure the remaster feels like it's taking advantage of the new hardware instead of standing as a simple port. During a Morgan Stanley speaking event, Take-Two boss said remasters have always been a part of Take-Two's strategy, and this is expected to continue. And he quotes, "I'm not sure they'll be a bigger part of the strategy. Remastering has always been a part of the strategy. What we've done differently than the competition is we don't just port titles over," he said, via VGC. And he goes on to quote, "We actually take the time to do the very best job we can, making the title different for the new release, for the new technology that we're launching it on." Again, that's from the head, the boss of Take-Two. And how do you do, Nicole? As always, you're very welcome to Green Hill Gaming. In this live stream, it's going to be a gameplay slash discussing live stream, where I'm going to be discussing why Take-Two are an embarrassment to the video game industry. You've already heard the quotes from the boss of Take-Two Interactive, so I won't repeat that. Yeah, I love Spyro as well. Many fond memories of playing Spyro the Dragon on PlayStation 1. Great to have a fellow Spyro the Dragon fan in the live stream. Hope you're keeping well, and I hope that you enjoy the live stream. What an embarrassment. What an embarrassment Take-Two is. By the way, everything he just said there was a lie. Because on August 17, next week, 2023, Take-Two, Rockstar Games, will be releasing a simple port of Red Dead Redemption from the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. Game that released 10 years ago on PS4, which is not a modern console, and Nintendo Switch. Because it is a simple port, Take-Two, or Rockstar Games, or Rockstar North, absolutely did not take their time to do the very best job making Red Dead Redemption different for the new release, for the new technology, because last time I checked, PS4 and Switch were not new technology. So blatant lies from the head of Take-Two, and it's just an embarrassment. Like he said, what we've done differently than our competition is we don't just port titles over. Again, that is literally what Take-Two are doing on August 17th, when they are simply porting over Red Dead Redemption from PS3 and 360 that came out 10 years ago on PS4 and Nintendo Switch. Now you want to talk about the competition, Take-Two. You want to talk about how you do things differently to the competition. You want to talk about what separates Take-Two from the competition. You want to talk about how you focus on quality and making sure that the remaster feels like it's taking advantage of new hardware instead of standing as a simple port. You want to talk about how you actually take the time to do the very best job we can making the titles different for the new release, for the new technology that we're launching on. What about Toys for Bob? The developers of Spyro Reignited Trilogy, an actual remaster, not a port of the PS1 trilogy. These games look so much better than the PS1 titles. Also, in the Spyro Reignited Trilogy, which launched at €40 and $40, you got 3 games. Spyro the Dragon, Spyro the Dragon 2, and Spyro Year of the Dragon. 3 games for €40/$. So, Activision and Toys for Bob actually did take the time to do the very best job that they could, making Spyro Reignited Trilogy different for the new release, for the new technology, which would have been the PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch at the time when they launched it on. So Take-Two, this is an actual remaster. Unlike your standard port that you're releasing next week, August 17th. Absolute, utter embarrassment is Take-Two. to the video game industry. Now I'm going to proceed to play an actual remaster Spyro Reignited trilogy. As you can see, 3 games: Spyro the Dragon, Spyro Ripto's Rage, and Spyro Year of the Dragon. The original Spyro the Dragon trilogy that released originally on PlayStation 1. But unlike the port of Red Dead Redemption that's releasing on August 17th, these aren't standard ports of the PS1 games. These are full-on remasters of the first 3 Spyro the Dragon games. Visually enhanced, audio enhanced. I would even argue that these games are remakes, to be quite honest with you. With all their money, they should really be doing more. Exactly. I mean, it's no surprise how much money Take-Two and Rockstar Games have made from GTA 5 and GTA Online. Because Rockstar Games are the publishers, Take-Two are the parent company. They're the companies that make the most money. I would argue that very little of that money actually goes to Rockstar North, the actual developers of Grand Theft Auto 5 and Grand Theft Auto Online. So yeah, you would think that considering how much money they've made, how much money they're sitting on, that they would have put the time and effort into at least remastering Red Dead Redemption as Toys for Bob put into remastering not 1, not 2, but 3 games in one package for €40 and $40, unlike the €50 and $50 price tag of Red Dead Redemption, which is a standard port of the original Red Dead Redemption that released on PS3 and 360 10 years ago. Then you have the boss of Take-Two Interactive coming out and saying, we don't just port games, we put the time and effort into making these remasters stand out from the competition. What utter bullshit. What utter bullshit. So it's time for gameplay. I'm going to play my favourite Spyro the Dragon game, Year of the Dragon. Now, if you're familiar with what PS1 games look like, or if you're familiar with the original PS1 release of Spyro Year of the Dragon, you're going to, unless you're blind, you're clearly going to see what an actual remaster looks like. Now, if you think this looks like a PS1 game, you need to get your eyes checked, pal. Because this is what a remaster looks like. True, they give 3, and Rockstar can't even give the zombie version either, which is this. It's going to have. You mean Undead Nightmare? That's coming with the port. It won't have multiplayer though.
Get her! Stop her!
We managed to capture the eggs, Your Highness. Every last one.
Excellent. Maybe you will amount to something after all. Now go guard the tunnels. Stop anyone from coming through.
I'm just letting this game do the speaking for now. His actual remaster.
Where are the eggs?
The holes came out on the other side of the dragon worlds. We found some of the eggs, but they were too heavy to carry back.
The other side of the world?
The Forgotten Realms. Spyro, you'll have to go. Nobody else can fit down the holes.
Yeah, come on, let's go!
Find the eggs and bring them back, Spyro. You're our only chance.
You got it!
I will be back in a few minutes. Back in action. No, I didn't know that. It was, but that sucks. Multiplayer. Yeah, so it has the Undead Nightmare DLC, but it does not have multiplayer. So it not only is Red Dead Redemption, the port that's releasing in August 17th, like not only is it a standard port of a PS3 and Xbox 360 game that released 10 years ago with no added visual enhancements, no audio enhancements, no gameplay enhancements. Like, not only that, but it's lacking content. It's lacking multiplayer. It's lacking. It's an embarrassment. Take-Two are an embarrassment to the video game industry. What you're looking at right now is the remaster, the actual remaster of Spyro Year of the Dragon. This game originally released on PlayStation 1, but this isn't a direct standard port of Spyro Year of the Dragon on PS1. No, as you can clearly see, this is visually enhanced in every way. The audio has been enhanced. There's even new voice acting. I mean, I would argue that this is actually a remake more than a remaster, but it is officially described as a remaster, so therefore I will refer to it as a remaster. So the boss of Take-Two, as I mentioned earlier, he said that what makes Take-Two Interactive so different to the competition when it comes to remasters is that the time and effort that they put into their remasters to make those remasters take advantage of the modern hardware that the remasters release on. I mean, what is he smoking? What is he smoking? We all know how the GTA trilogy turned out, and we all know about Red Dead Redemption releasing next week. That's not a remaster. And of course, he also said that we, Take-Two, we do not just release ports. That's literally what Red Dead Redemption releasing next week is. And this is the competition. You are looking at the competition. Take-Two, this is your competition. An actual remaster. Where Toys for Bob actually put time and effort into making this game look and play amazing.
So, you're the one in charge of rescuing the eggs, huh? How sad. Look here, Dragon. If you know what's good for you, you'll turn around and crawl back into that hole you came through. Those eggs belong to us now, and I've hidden them in places you'll never find in 1,000 years. Besides, even if you could find any eggs, our expertly trained armies would hunt you down and take them back. Do I make myself clear? If I find you here again, I am going to be very angry, and you won't like me when I'm angry.
So yeah, I mean, you'd want to be absolutely blind not to be able to tell the difference between Spyro Year of the Dragon on PS1 to this actual remaster. You'd have to be blind. Whereas if you look at Red Dead Redemption on PS3 and Xbox 360 that released 10 years ago, and you compare it to the port that's releasing next week, there's no difference. Will it be outputted in like 1080p, possibly even 4K with PS4 Pro enhancements? Yes, but this game isn't just a PS1 game that's outputted in 1080p or 4K, because that would be a PS Plus Classic release if that was the case. I mean, you can clearly see everything has been redone. Everything has been redone. This is more of a remake than a remaster. But according to Toys for Bob and Activision, it is a remaster. So it's officially referred to as a remaster. So I'm going to refer to it as a remaster. Audio as well. You can switch between the original and reignited.
Yo, Spyro! I just found one of those portal thingamajigs that leads to a different world, but you'll have to glide to get across to it. Press the jump button, then press jump again while you're in the air to glide. Just follow me.
One of the things I love about Spyro is collecting all the gems, all the dragon eggs, and saving all the dragons. 100% completion. And it's great to see that Insomniac actually carried, because Insomniac, if you didn't know, are the original developers of the original Spyro the Dragon trilogy in PS1. Of course, I mean, we won't talk about the complex history of Spyro the Dragon after the original trilogy, because it's just too sad and depressing, to be honest with you.
I'm late for a dinner party at the Tiki Lodge, and the portal to my home just stopped working. Maybe the portal will reactivate after a few more dragons hatch.
That's like a whole new game. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, all you need to do is just do like a side-by-side comparison of Spyro Year of the Dragon on PS1 to the reignited trilogy version of Spyro Year of the Dragon. Again, like you'd have to be blind not to spot like the difference. Oh my days! Oh my days!
I see an egg at the bottom of this lake. I would go get it, but I don't want to get my fur all wet. Maybe you could get it. You can dive underwater by pressing the charge button when you're on the surface, and charge underwater by holding down charge as well.
Well, hello there, Bruce. Also, they improved the controls as well in Spyro Reignited Trilogy. You have full camera control this time around. It wasn't possible on PS1. You needed to use like L1, L2, I think. L1 and R1, I think, to rotate the camera. It was a bit awkward. So let's just pause for a second now. Let's just Spyro hang out for a second there. I'm gonna go back over that. I'm gonna go back over that article. That's literally me right now. I'm exhausted. I decided to do a live stream when I was tired, and anyone who knows me will know whenever I do a live stream and I'm tired. Anyway, we won't be negative. We won't be negative. Okay, we'll just focus. So I just want to go over certain parts. Spoiler, I know. We're both tired. I just want to go over certain points, right? In this article from GameSpot that was posted back in March 3rd, 2021, where the Take-Two boss spoke about remasters and how they as a company do remasters different to their competition. Like the first quote is, "We don't just port titles over." We don't just port titles over. That quote literally came from the mouth of the head, the boss, the CEO of Take-Two. It doesn't get any higher than that when it comes to who's in charge of games like Red Dead Redemption. You don't get any higher than that. And he said, "We don't just port titles over." But that is literally like Red Dead Redemption that is releasing on PS4 and Switch on August 17 is literally a port. Take-Two are literally just porting over Red Dead Redemption from PS3 and Xbox 360, which was released 10 years ago, onto PS4 and Nintendo Switch, with no enhancements, no visual enhancements, no gameplay enhancements, no audio enhancements. In actual fact, they're cutting content because it won't have multiplayer. That is a port. That is just porting Red Dead Redemption over to PS4 and Nintendo Switch. Pure lies. But it's what he goes on to say after that I just find really funny. And it's why I think that Take-Two are an embarrassment to the video game industry. Like, the article goes on to say that he believes there is reason why remasters from his company may perform better than the competition. Now, I want to talk about something actually in terms of Take-Two's remasters potentially performing better than the competition in terms of sales. Now, I don't have the sales figures of GTA Trilogy compared to the sales of Spyro Reignited Trilogy. I don't have those numbers in front of me. But let me just say this. People didn't know what GTA Trilogy was going to end up becoming until they actually bought it. Because, in case you forgot, there was very little marketing. There was very little gameplay shown of GTA Trilogy before it actually launched. So it was only when people got their hands on the GTA Trilogy when it launched that they actually saw what the game was like. And we all know what the game was like. It was hot garbage. Whereas now, with Red Dead Redemption, people know exactly what they're getting. They're getting a port of a 10-year-old game. So I keep saying 10-year-old game. It's not. Is it? Yeah. I don't even know. It is 10 years old, isn't it? Came on 2000. The fuck? No, sorry, it came on 2013. So yeah. So they're getting a port of a 10-year-old game that will release on PS3 and 360. So players now know what they're getting. I think that is going to impact the performance. It's going to impact how that game sells. The negative ratio is really outnumbering the positive. The majority of people are very negative towards this port of Red Dead Redemption. So I think it'll be interesting to compare the sales of GTA Trilogy to the sales of Red Dead Redemption when it releases next week. I think all eyes will be on the charts, all eyes will be on the UK video game charts, the American equivalent, Japanese. I don't even know if there's much of a market in Japan really for Red Dead Redemption, but we'll just have to wait and see. So I found that interesting, the performance of these remasters. So it takes Two's top executive has spoken about remasters, saying separates his company's games from the competition. So this is another thing. I'm literally just going to read over the whole article. I'm sorry. It's not a massive article, so don't worry. Take-Two saying what separates his company's games from the competition is a focus on quality and making sure the remaster feels like it's taking advantage of the new hardware instead of standing as a simple port. A simple port is literally what Red Dead Redemption is. Literally. Taking advantage of the new hardware. Okay, so PS4 launched in 2013? 2014? Switch launched in 2017. How are they new hardware? How? Just how? I don't understand. How? When Spyro Reignited Trilogy launched, an actual remaster, not ports, those remasters, because there was 3 remasters in one, when they released, right, they released on the newest hardware. There was no hardware newer than the hardware released at the time. There was no PS4 at the time. Sorry, there was no PS5 at that time. There was no Xbox Series X at that time. There was just PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. But according to Take-Two, their remasters takes advantage of new hardware instead of standing as a simple port. So Red Dead Redemption 2, which launches next week, is a simple port and it does not take advantage of new hardware. Like, and again, this is a quote from the boss of Take-Two. What we've done differently than the competition is we don't just port titles over each other. We actually take the time to do the very best job we can, making the title different for the new release, for the new technology that we're launching it on. Like, what a load of bullshit. Everything in that quote is wrong because they didn't take the time to do the very best job. Because if they did, Red Dead Redemption would either be a remaster like this or a remake. And they didn't make the title different because it's the exact same game that released on PS3 and Xbox 360 in every sense of the word, minus the multiplayer, of course. And it was not released on new technology. It's not going to be released on new technology. It's going to be released on old technology because PS4 is last gen. And Switch has been out since 2017, and let's face it, it's inferior hardware compared to even PS4. So it's utter bullshit. It's utter bullshit. No, I mean, I do want to focus on this game, of course, and I want to play this game, but I need to have this article. I need to have the quotes from Take-Two. I need to have that as the backbone of the live stream, because every time I play this game, every time I show this game, every time you see something new in this game, like, you need to in your head kind of have those kind of quotes playing in the back of your mind, you know. Because this is a remaster. This isn't a PS1 game. This doesn't look like a PS1 game. This doesn't play like a PS1 game. This doesn't sound like a PS1 game. Because it's a remaster. It's not a port. If Toys for Bob wanted to just do a basic port of a PS1 game, then they would have just done that. And you would have gotten something like you see with the PS Plus classic games, right? And you would have just gotten PS1 games that are kind of like up rendered, upscaled, whatever. But it would still be a PS1 game. It would still look like a PS1 game, and it would still play like a PS1 game. But that's not what Toys for Bob did. Toys for Bob actually took the time and effort to remaster this game, to take advantage of, at the time, actual modern hardware and do the best they could. I swear to God, like, if someone thinks this looks like a PS1 game, I will slap them silly. and then I'll just do it again and again and again and again until I can slap some fucking common sense into them. And fucking slap the fucking Rockstar Games simpness out of their fucking brains if they have any. I mean, this game looks absolutely amazing. This is an actual remaster, and again, 3 games. 3 Spyro the Dragon games, the original trilogy, remastered for less than the price that Rockstar Games are charging for a port of Red Dead Redemption that's lacking content. I mean, people, you know, will bring up the fact that, oh, you had to download the other 2 games. They weren't included. You had to download the other 2 games, Johnny. Yeah, but at least those 2 games were there. At least everything in these games are present. Where's the fucking multiplayer in Red Dead Redemption? Can you download that? No. I mean, which out of the 2 games? Red Dead Redemption is releasing next week on PS4 and Switch. Or Spyro Reignited Trilogy. Which do you think had the most time and effort put into them? No, I'm generally asking, like, which do you think? I mean, I know what I think, you know, but let me know what you think. Did Rockstar Games put more effort and time into Red Dead Redemption that releases next week on PS4 and Switch than Toys or Bob did on Spyro Reignited Trilogy? I mean, I'd love to know. Definitely not Red Dead. Yep, that's my answer as well. I think anybody with a brain in their head that isn't the Rockstar Games or Take-Two simp will agree. I mean, look, you get people that won't like Spyro. This is not my type of game. That's understandable, but like, just put that aside for a second. Do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, obviously, like, no 2 people are the same. No 2 people are going to like the same game. That's completely understandable. But I'm not talking about the game as such. As in, I'm not talking about the actual game, like story-wise or like presentation-wise. I'm talking about like the technicality of the development of this game, if that makes sense. Okay, that's what I'm focusing on. I'm talking about Take-Two versus Toys for Bob, because Take-Two talks about their competition, and they say they do things differently to the competition because they take the time and effort to do the best they can with their remasters and taking advantage of new hardware and making the game different on those new hardware. You know, that's what Take-Two is saying, right? And then you've got Toys for Bob that made this. And clearly, again, if you have good eyesight, you can clearly see that Toys for Bob did a better job. They actually remastered Spyro Reignited Trilogy. So again, it's not about you being a fan of Spyro. I mean, it's not about you saying, oh, well, I prefer Red Dead Redemption. That's not about that. It's not about, oh, I prefer... Okay, you prefer Red Dead Redemption, but that doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean it's right for Take-Two Interactive and Rockstar Games to release a piece of shit of a port and put no effort into it. It doesn't change the fact that they're lazy. It doesn't change the fact that they're liars, and it doesn't change the fact that they're an embarrassment to the gaming industry. Your gaming preferences do not change facts. I respect your gaming preferences, but your preferences do not change facts. And do not eliminate facts, and will not bury those facts under a carpet. God, I wish I had a side-by-side comparison of the PS1 version. Jesus Christ. I mean, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that Toys for Bob do not have as much resources, especially in the area of finances, than Rockstar Games. I'm just going to go out there and say that maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Toys for Bob are richer than Rockstar Games. Maybe. I mean, their parent company, I think it's still, I don't know, I think they've been folded now, but at the time, their parent company were Activision. Now, Activision is a big company, hence the massive buyout from Microsoft. But then what you have to remember is, see, Activision merged with Blizzard as well. So that was two big companies merging together. Either way, I would argue, because of the revenue that GTA 5 and GTA Online has been bringing in for the last decade, I would argue very strongly that Take-Two would definitely be the richer company compared to even Activision and Blizzard put together, solely because of the success that GTA Online brings in. So what I'm trying to say is, if Toys for Bob can make this, okay, there's absolutely no reason why Take-Two Interactive could not at least remaster Red Dead Redemption. I mean, it's just one game. This is 3 games. I'm not even focusing on the gameplay right now. I know, I'm sorry. It's a discussion, but also gameplay. But like, at the same time though, this isn't like a walkthrough, playthrough, anything like that. It's just to prove a point. It's just to prove that Take-Two are an embarrassment. Here's Take-Two saying, we're better than the competition. We don't just release ports. We take the time and effort on our remasters to make sure to take advantage of new hardware. And then it just literally release support of a PS3 and Xbox 360 game that came out 10 years ago, with no visual enhancements, with no enhancements whatsoever, lacking content. They have the absolute cheek to say that, while Toys for Bob, and Toys for Bob is just one example, by the way. Toys for Bob is just one example of a company that can actually release an actual remaster and actually put the time and effort into that remaster and actually take advantage of modern hardware. Back in, oh god, whenever it was, 2010, whatever year it was, when Nintendo released The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. That released on the Nintendo Wii. Okay, it was a standard definition console. It had motion controls. You either liked them or you hated them, but you had no choice but to use motion controls in Skyward Sword. Then, 2019, I don't even know the year, to be honest, a couple of years back, Nintendo decided to revisit Skyward Sword, re-release it, but was it a port? Nope. It was a remaster. It was a HD remaster. Now what you have to understand about the Wii is the Wii was, as I said, it was a standard definition console. It was significantly underpowered compared to PS3 and Xbox 360. Every PS3 and 360 game were all HD games. The Wii wasn't. Every game on the Wii was standard definition. It was the GameCube standard graphics, okay? All standard definition. So Nintendo took Skyward Sword, which was again standard definition Wii game, but only used motion control, and remastered it for the Nintendo Switch. So it was in HD for the first time. Every texture was all reworked for HD. Character models looked different, backgrounds looked different, enemies looked different. Everything was HD. It was that's what you call remaster. Like, we're not talking about, there's a difference between remake and remaster. Okay, but it was a remaster in every sense of the word. But it also, for the first time, had, and I know I'm just running around in circles, it also had modern controls for the first time. That is what you call a remaster. Was it overpriced? Yes. It was 60 or way too much, even for a remaster. Very costly. I haven't bought it. I would say you can get it cheaper, to be honest with you, nowadays. But I haven't gotten it yet, but I certainly wouldn't be paying €60 for it, that's for sure. But at least it's a remaster. You know, like Take-Two are charging €10 less for Red Dead Redemption, but that has got no visual enhancements, gameplay enhancements, nothing, no new modern control system, nothing like that. It's just so lazy. It's an embarrassment. The once great, you know, Rockstar games, you know, are just a literal embarrassment. I mean, look at the effort that Toys R Bob put into this game. Look at Spyro. He's not a pixelated blob anymore. Do you know what I mean? I mean, this is not a PS1 game. You look at this game, you don't think PS1. Okay? I mean, visually, this is a PS4 platformer. That's what this game is. It's a full-on remaster. Can't stress that enough. Like, they even added stuff in, like, visually. Like, I mean, again, this is leaning more towards remake than remaster. Like, I don't even know if it's fair to actually make this comparison, but according to Toys R Bob, according to Activision, according to everyone who refers, who mentions this game, it is a remaster. So, I'm just going with the official description of the game. That's, you know, so don't come at me for saying, oh well, it's actually a remake. Again, personally, I would think it's a remake. You know, it's my personal belief that this is a remake. But like, you know, okay, I'm going to try and focus on the gameplay. I'm tired, and I've already done like a Red Dead Redemption discussion live stream already, and I'm so tired. I'm going to try to, like, you know. But I think I've made my point, though. I mean, I think the boss of Take-Two Interactive speaks for himself. You know, that's the good thing about it. Sometimes I give my opinion on, you know, people, things, places, or whatever else. I have to like, it's all coming from me, you know, it's all coming from my mind, I have to say. But this guy is speaking for himself. This guy is writing, he's writing my own, he's writing like the material for me, do you know what I mean? I don't have to add anything to it. Like, I mean, this guy literally thinks that his company makes the best remasters. I mean, look at GTA Trilogy. And Red Dead Redemption, that's releasing next week, isn't even a remaster. This is a remaster. Toys R Bob took the time, took the effort with this game. Oh, come on. I don't know if I can add anything else to that, to be honest with you. But just let the game do the speaking. Look at it, listen to it. Again, you can switch between the remastered soundtrack or the original. Another example of a good remaster is actually Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy X-2. That's a visual remake, and you can also switch between remastered soundtrack or the original soundtrack. Xenoblade Chronicles on the Switch, yeah, is a remaster. Again, that's a Wii game brought over to the Switch, and it actually uses the art style of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So it's a full-on remaster. Not sure how much that was, knowing Nintendo, probably full price as well. Like, I'm not going to bury my head in the sand and be some kind of fucking like just a pure like going after like, you know, Take-Two Interactive and Rockstar Games. I mean, obviously other companies engage in this type of behavior, but there's different levels. That's what you have to understand. There's different levels. I mean, if you like, you know, took a napkin from a hotel. Oh, taking a napkin from a hotel. I'm a thief. You know what I mean? Like, there's a difference between that and somebody fucking going into a hotel with a gun and saying, empty the fucking safe. Why you would hold a hotel up, I have no fucking idea, but you know, you get the point. Like, what I'm trying to say is, like, yes, there are companies that engage in similar behavior to Take-Two Interactive, but there is like certain levels of that. Like, companies like Nintendo might charge high prices for their remasters, but at least they're actual remasters. At least they've actually added stuff to the game. You know, like, that's the difference. You know, should they be charging full price for a remaster? No. I don't. Tyson Bob charged €40 for 3 games that were remastered. That's how you price a remaster. You don't price a remaster at full price, because even though it is a remaster, unless it's a remake, it's not a new game. It's just not a new game. A new game has to be like completely remade. Like a remaster, like the whole point of a remaster anyway is you want to capture the original feeling of the game. So yeah, so I don't think that remaster should be fully priced. But like, again, like compared to a port of a game that came out 10 years ago, I mean, come on, like.
I saw something Oh.
So Take-Two Interactive, this is the competition. This is the competition that you refer to, and you claim that you're essentially better than that competition. What a joke. Like,
This is a...
what an embarrassment. And I'm sure if I sat here and kind of got my facts together before I did the live stream, I'm sure I could have a list of other companies and other remasters, you know, that had done a far better job than Rockstar Games and Take-Two. Because as we know, like, we're living in the age of remasters and remakes, so there's lots of remasters out there, tons of them. And I would argue the majority of those remasters, you know, put time and effort into, you know, making the most. Oh, look at me, I'm missing 1 gem. Always happens whenever I play Spyro. God, I'm tired again. I hate being tired. Because when I'm tired, I can't fucking, you know what I mean? I can't put my words together. It's just like, you know what I mean? It's like, blah, 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 blah. Literally like Spyro right now. It's like, blah, 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 blah. But in spite of all that, though, I do think that I've argued my case quite well, and I did not realise how fucking late it actually is. Jesus Christ. So about 15 minutes left in the live stream. I suppose, look, the only thing that you should take away from this discussion, apart from me, you know, being half asleep and talking, is that Take-Two are an embarrassment to the video game industry, because they're ignoring this. They're ignoring what you see right here, an actual remaster that Toys for Bob put time and effort into to modernize these games that were originally released on PS1, but they're not ports, they're remasters. Toys for Bob put time and effort into these remasters to make them look and play good on new hardware. Because there was new hardware at the time, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. There was new hardware at the time. Okay. You just look at them compared to the PS1 version, right? But they're Rockstar Games are then they're saying, oh, you know, we make the best remasters. We take the time and effort. We Take-Two don't just release ports. We Take-Two, you know what I mean? It's like, no, you don't. You're lazy. You don't put any time and effort into your remasters. Toys R Bob do. Nintendo do. You know, other companies do. I just can't think of it off the top of my head. But there's plenty of remasters out there. I'm just thinking of the games, you know what I mean, the kind of games I play, like. There's plenty of companies that make remasters. So didn't, I mean, I know I fucking shared my opinion on The Last of Us. But I mean, okay, like The Last of Us Part 1 mightn't be a full-blown fucking, like, remaster. But it is still, like, I mean, like, you can't deny that game looks better than the PS3 version. It just confuses things when there's already been a PS4 remaster. Do you know what I mean? I say if there wasn't a PS4 remaster, and then we got The Last of Us Part 1, I think then I'd be like, whoa, that looks fucking amazing. Do you know what I mean? But it's hard to look at The Last of Us Part 1 and be visually impressed when there's already a PS4 remaster. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a remaster. I mean, that's another story, really. You know, discussing remasters. But like, still, you know, they did a better job than Take-Two. My point is, that's exactly my point. They did a better job than Take-Two. Like, Take-Two are the ones going around beating their chest. Take-Two are the ones going around saying, we're the best, we make the best remakes, or we make the best remasters. They don't. Clearly, they don't. Clearly, they're lawyers. You know, we don't just port games. I mean, clearly, that's exactly what they're doing next week with Red Dead Redemption. That's my point. That's what you should take away from this discussion. I mean, what you're looking at right now is an actual remaster. That's what you're looking at right now. Aran Raza. Okay, you've changed your name. You were somebody else before. I know that because you're a mod. Obviously, if I made you a mod or something, I know. Who are you? Who are you? I support the game releasing on Switch, but not on PS4. Literally no PS5 upgrade, not even 60 frames per second. That's an interesting comment, and I actually agree with you. I think, yeah, you're right. You're actually right. There's no benefit of getting Red Dead Redemption again on PS4 because there's no visual enhancements, there's no gameplay enhancements. They haven't added anything into it. If anything, they took away. But at least the Switch version has the portability. So if you've either A, never played Red Dead Redemption before, actually no, well yeah, that too. But let's say you just want a handheld version of Red Dead Redemption, because it's not releasing on PC as of yet, so there's going to be no Steam Deck version of Red Dead Redemption. I don't know if there's a way that you can download the original on Steam Deck. You probably can. I'm not sure, to be honest with you. But if there is, you're better off getting the original, because you will have multiplayer. But yeah, you are right. Sorry, go off track. You're right. The Switch version is the only version that actually makes sense. I think that Take-Two should have just made it on Switch and not made a big song and dance about it. And just said, look, you know, releasing on the eShop, Red Dead Redemption, blah, blah, blah. You know, because there's no, like, there is an incentive to get it on Switch because you can bring it with you. You can play on the go. So it's I think that what makes the Switch and what continues to make the Switch separate to PS5 and Xbox One and Xbox Series X is the fact that this is a handheld and a console. Again, it's both. That's the whole point. That's the whole selling point of the Switch. I don't know if that still goes over the heads of people. Well, obviously it sold like 130 million, so it obviously hasn't. But the fact of the matter is, that's what it is. you get a game on Switch, you are automatically getting 2 versions of that game. You were getting the console version and you were getting the handheld version. There was a time where you would have to buy 2 pieces of hardware and 2 pieces of software to get that. With the Switch, you're getting 1 hardware and 1 software. And whether you want to play that on the TV or whether you want to play that on the bus, it's up to you. That is the whole point of the Switch. That is why people like the Switch. So yes, I think because of that, whenever a game comes to the Switch, no matter how old it is, people seem to, I'd say look at the sales of Red Dead Redemption on Switch and compare it to PS4, and I guarantee you more people would have bought it on Switch. Yeah, that's insane that it took forever to make a PS4 version. That's why I like it on Switch. I mean, the Switch is still good. It's underpowered, 100%, but it's still worth supporting. The Batman Collection and Red Dead Redemption on Switch, both massive games. Yeah, I mean, it's just for people who love those games, for people who love the Batman trilogy, for people who love Red Dead Redemption. I mean, think of it. They're on a 5-6 hour bus journey tomorrow morning. Like, the thought of being able to sit down on a boring bus trip, stuck next to a fucking, some guy talking about his fucking collection of flowers, the whole way from fucking Cork to Dublin. True story. Fucking like if you have the choice, right, to bring this handheld with you, where you can play a game like Red Dead Redemption or the Batman trilogy, like with you on that journey, you're going to do it. That's what makes the Switch. It's what makes it unique. Do you know what I mean? The incentive to pay $50 or €50 for Red Dead Redemption on PS4 or PS5, you're not getting any difference. There's no difference. Like, if you played it on PS3, there's no difference. You're not getting anything different. You're still sitting in front of your TV and you're playing it. Whereas because the Switch isn't a handheld, if handheld isn't your thing, of course, no need for you to get it. No incentive for you to get it. But if you're somebody who likes to play your games on the go, then honestly, the Switch version is going to be the definitive version by default. Also, with Switch games get optimized. I missed a comment there. And I really want to play handheld Batman 2. You're going to be in for a treat this year, that's for sure. Also, with Switch games, you get optimized. I own a Steam Deck, but it's still hit or miss for games. Yeah, that's the thing. That is the thing that people seem to forget. It's about the games. Phil Spencer will say, games don't sell hardware. Oh, poor Phil Spencer. I don't know. That man has lost his fucking mind. Honestly, I'm not even joking. He has just lost his fucking mind, to be honest with you. There's just something seriously wrong with that man. But it is about games. I remember a quote from the great Reggie Fils-Aimé, former Nintendo president of America, the Reginator, when he said something. He said something about that technology is a tool. It's the end experience that matters. And it just says so much. Like, the technology in the hardware is just a tool. It's what you do with that tool. It's what you make with that tool. That's what matters. You know what I mean? So it's Steam Deck. Oh, look how powerful it is compared to this. It's the games. How many games on Steam Deck sold 18 million in 2 months? Come on, I mean, it's good for what it is, but it's as you said, it's the games that matter. Switch is 30 frames per second, but frames per second really has never bothered me if a game plays well. Do you know what? I'm exactly the same. And I even say I don't even care about shooters or racers. I'm the exact same. I'm not that bothered. I'm not that bothered at all. It doesn't bother me the same way that it bothers other people. Fair enough if it bothers people, it's fair enough, but it doesn't bother me. I don't really care, about that. Yeah, exactly. Or you can quote Reggie for years. He has some of the best. Oh, he definitely does. He's a very smart guy, like, you know, he's a cool guy at the same time, he's smart and cool, you know. I'd say he was that guy in school, like, where, like, he would come across as, like, I don't know, kind of like the swat or kind of nerd or geek, but at the same time, like, being cool. I'd say he would have been a blast to hang out with. But yeah, I mean, very, very inspirational, the guy as well. And every company he worked for, oddly enough, well, if he felt it was a successful company, he will stay. The last company he was actually with was GameStop. He was actually on the board of directors. I'd say he took one look at their books. I'd say he took one look at their books and just asked them questions about, like, what are you doing? And he said, okay, that's a sinking ship, and he was out of there. But no, he actually worked for a lot of companies. Like he actually worked for Guinness, I think. Actually, he worked for Pizza Hut, I think, and he used like this really fucking popular like brand of pizza. Anyway, he worked for a music station on TV, VHI, and he actually like modernized it, and he had like young people watching it and everything. We all know, you know, what he did for Nintendo. Like he's become an icon. He's become an icon. I'm interested in the graphics option on games. I constantly change between them just because I'm interested in tech and how different games can look and play. Yeah, it is interesting to see the difference, right? Like, you know, but the difference in like 60 frames per second and 30 frames per second. But as you said, like, I mean, I don't really care either way, like, you know. Missing one gem. I reckon it's down here, actually. I'm gonna have to get some sleep in a few minutes, I'd say, before I get into my overtired mode where I just yap and yap and yap and yap and yap and yap and yap. But what more can I say? What more can I say about, you know, Take-Two being an embarrassment for the gaming industry? Like, they're an embarrassment because of the lies. The sheer lies that they're spitting. It's utter lies. And that's the main reason why they're an embarrassment. Oh my god. Like Red Dead Redemption on PS4 and Nintendo Switch, which releases next week, is literally a straightforward port. Take-Two are literally just porting Red Dead Redemption over from PS3 and Xbox 360 to PS4 and Switch, which is literally what the boss of Rockstar Games said they don't do. And because of that, because of it being a straightforward port, it doesn't have any visual enhancements, audio enhancements, gameplay enhancements. It does not take advantage of new hardware, and it's not better than the competition. So that they didn't do the very best job they could, which they claimed that they did. They did not do the very best job. They did not take advantage of new hardware. It's a straightforward port. Whereas their actual competition like Toys for Bob, didn't just port over PS1 games and charge full price for them, but they actually remastered not one, not two, but 3 Spyro the Dragon games. And Toys for Bob did do the very best, and did take their time and did put in effort to take advantage of modern consoles at the time, PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, to make Spyro the Dragon Reignite Trilogy as good as this. So that's why Take-Two Interactive are an embarrassment. You know, beating their chest saying that they're the greatest, when in fact they're not. It's just an embarrassment. Honestly. See, Power Slay Productions has joined the live stream. As always, you're very welcome to Green Hill Gaming. How are you doing? You never heard of Take-Two? Take-Two are the parent company of Rockstar Games, man. Oh, let me tell you some things about Take-Two in just a moment. People say 30 frames per second is unplayable. Yeah, that to me is a stupid statement. I won't buy a game if it's 30 frames per second. I wish people would stop saying, oh no, it's embarrassing. Oh God, it's just utterly embarrassing when people say stuff like that. At least ported for Switch, fair enough, but for PS5, give it 60 frames. That's the thing, and it won't have 60 frames per second, and it won't be 4K, and that's the thing. It's called a cash grab. Oh yeah, I mean, but like it's 100% a cash grab, but like people should be supporting it. Like, it'll be a cash grab as long as people are dumb enough to actually buy it. It's only a cash grab if people hand over their cash. People don't realise that. Like, people don't have to buy this. I'm not buying it. Absolutely not. I've never really been into the series, I know that much, but like, it's definitely not going to get into it now anyway. I've actually made a decision. I'm not supporting Rockstar Games. I'm not supporting this Rockstar Games. I mean, I grew up with Rockstar Games. Okay, I played the original GTA trilogy on PS1. Yeah, people like to go on about GTA trilogy on PS2. Well, I'm older than ye people, and I was there from the beginning. Because I will tell you what the original GTA trilogy is. The original GTA trilogy is Grand Theft Auto 1, Grand Theft Auto London, and Grand Theft Auto 2. That's the original trilogy. But yeah, I mean, but the GTA trilogy on PS2 I liked as well, of course. But I don't like this Rockstar. I don't like this Grand Theft Auto. I couldn't give two flying fucks about GTA Online, and I don't give two flying fucks about GTA 6. I don't care where it's set. I don't care if it's set in my fucking house. I'm not getting GTA 6. And I mean that. And that's not mean, and I'm going, you know, I'm deadly serious. I do not like this Rockstar. I will never like this Rockstar. Not getting GTA 6. Absolutely not. Makes no sense. Look at Mass Effect Trilogy, for example. EA did remaster that also has a patch. Exactly. There's tons of remasters out there. Yeah, there we go. I can name tons of games that at least take advantage of current gen. We have gone from a game is good to a game needs to be 60 frames per second and have good graphics, and people don't care. And people are like ignoring shitfests like Cyberpunk, you know. But if it has 60 frames per second, it's a great idiots, absolute idiots. I would still say the GTA Trilogy Remastered is still a better effort than Red Dead Redemption. I don't know, it depends on what way you look at it, really. It depends on what way you look at it. I would argue that at least you can sit down and play Red Dead Redemption, you know, port or no port, and it's a solid well, we don't know yet, actually, to be fair. We don't know yet, because it's been handled by the same people that made Fallout 76. So we don't know yet until people actually start. Well, I won't be playing it, but we won't know until other people play it. That's a good point, actually. But I would imagine if it is a direct port and, you know, they don't fuck around with the code of the game or whatever else, I would imagine that it would still be a perfectly playable game. Whereas at least GTA Trilogy, man, you were falling through bridges and everything, man. It was an embarrassment. I fell through a bridge once doing a fucking mission in GTA 3 towards the end, and I swear to God, the noises that came out of my fucking mouth, you would call the fucking Exorcist. I nearly broke my Switch in half. There's two moments. There's two moments in particular where I came very close to having two Switches. You know, two mini Switches. One Switch cracked in half, basically. The first was what I just said there. It was a very tough mission towards the end of GTA 3, and I fell through the fucking bridge. I fell through the fuck was the bridge called? Whatever the fuck. But I nearly fell through the bridge anyway. The second, sweet mother of Jesus Christ, was when I got into Five Nights at Freddy's for the first time. I downloaded I downloaded them all. Not all of them, but most of them on the Switch. And I was playing the first one. And I never played this game before. And I should have learned my lesson. Because the first time that I oh, sweet mother of Christ. The first time that I, what's the word for it? I can't think of the word. Underestimated Five Nights at Freddy's was, I was showing a video of the game, and I was like, oh yeah, that's Five Nights at Freddy's, yeah, that's that kid's game, yeah. The next minute, it's one of the characters from the game just screaming, like so loud, and I nearly fucking lost my life. But then, when I got the game and started playing it, I got it on Switch, so I was in bed, pitch dark, and it was when one of the fuckers, I don't know which one it was, maybe it was the chicken. Fucking what's it called again? Chicken or something. Was just right in front of me. Like on the fucking screen on the Switch, just screaming their lungs out. And my Switch went flying. Man, my Switch was like a fucking UFO, man, seriously. It just went flying across the room. I thought I broke it. But anyway, yeah, 2 occasions when I broke my Switch. GTA Trilogy is fixed. Well, a lot of people would say that it isn't fixed, to be honest with you now. I gave up on GTA Online tonight. Good. Kept kicking me out when I was doing taxi missions. Man, you should just not support Rockstar games. No one should support Rockstar games. And I swear to God, I'm going to say that in every live stream. I'm going to say, don't buy Red Dead Redemption. Do not support Rockstar games. Do not support them. Just don't. I just picked up Five Nights at Freddy's for Switch Collection. Love those games with the lore and story. Just fucking telling you, I'm actually fucking terrified to play that game. I'm actually admitting that now. Oh God, but it's live now, so I can't take it back. That game fucking terrifies me. I can't play it anymore. I swear to God, like, oh God. Like the last time I gave the story that I was stuck on the level. I wasn't stuck in the level. I was just absolutely breaking it. It's just because you just don't know what's gonna. You just don't know when and where these fuckers are gonna jump out. I think that's what makes that game series so fucking unique, to be honest with you. You know, like I know like Resident Evil has jump scares, but you just don't know. Like you can play Resident Evil, you know when the liquor is gonna, you know, drop down from the ceiling. You know when the crows are gonna, you know, burst out. You know when the dog's gonna jump through the window. You know all that. But this fucking game, Five Nights at Freddy's, is so unpredictable because you don't know the exact fucking time that they're gonna jump. If you did know the exact time, then you'd be fucking flying through the game. You know what I mean? So, it's just terrifying. It's fucking terrifying. I can't. Definitely not a kid's game. But yeah, I freaked out at those games years back. Yeah, that's right. They moved out in October. Can't wait. Been a fan for years since the first game came out. I've just kind of gotten into it, but fucking, I can't. I can't handle that series. That's the jump scare is always scary because it's so random, like. Oh God, I should probably stream it sometime just to entertain You bastards. Just so you can fucking hear me fucking screaming and shitting myself. Like, you may literally hear me shit myself, to be honest with you. I'm going to give it another 10 more minutes and then I'm going to get some sleep. Because it is getting quite late. I'm missing one gem. I think once I get the gem I'm going to end those two. But, I don't know what else I can add to this, like, discussion, live stream. I mean, I suppose, like, no, I'm too tired. I will do a closing segment, don't worry. Kind of like, try to like recap, you know, what I've been saying. Put it all together. Yeah, put it all together in one recap. You know, section of the live stream. That would be the end of it then, and then I'll end the live stream, get some sleep. Because when I'm tired and I do a live stream, especially when I'm discussing things, because most of the time, like when I do a live stream and I'm tired, most of the time I just don't talk. Right? Because I'm so tired. So that's why it's so hard to actually do a discussing live stream. I can't even say the word discussing because I'm so fucking tired. But it's tough, like, it's not as easy as you may think, trust me. They're popular because they're made by one guy and they have an insane story and lore that's extremely messed up. Kind of a fan of the series, being aimed more at kids lately. To be fair though, we all grew up, you know, watching horrors and playing violent video games. I mean, so I was like fucking 5, like, performing fatalities in Mortal Kombat, like. I mean, do you know what I mean? I was like 10 playing Grand Theft Auto. I was a kid watching horror movies. I mean, I know what you're trying to say, and I can understand what you're trying to say. Especially when it comes to the lore as well, like the deep lore. Like, but I'd say the majority of the kids don't really kind of like look into the lore as much, I would say. But I don't know, I wouldn't be too concerned about it really, to be honest with you, like, you know, I wouldn't. I hate when they cater to younger audiences because it usually becomes cringy and, I get you now, and basically what you're trying to say is like, you know, you kind of feel cringy like when, like, you're an adult and you're so into this game, and then like, there's like fucking, you know, like fucking 10-year-olds, you know, talking about like how great the game is. I hear you. So that's me with the Resident Evil fan base. Know what I mean? Oh, I'm only joking. But kind of half joking, really, to be honest. Kind of half joking because there is a bit of truth to that. But I do understand exactly what you're saying. I thought that you were saying because of the content of the game that shouldn't be aimed at kids. But that's just the way gaming has always been, though, you know. Yeah, look at Fortnite. Made a fool out of people. Oh God, don't even get me started on that. Oh my God. I mean, that's why it just angers me when, like, I cannot control my anger when somebody who claims to be a fan of Resident Evil tells me that I don't understand survival horror, that I don't understand Resident Evil. Somebody who has literally been playing Resident Evil since the beginning does not understand Resident Evil, does not understand what survival horror is. And then they're playing Fortnite and they're having Chris Redfield doing the floss. I lose my shit. I just lose my shit there, like, you know, honestly do. But yeah, it's very embarrassing. It's very cringy to have like Kratos and Doom Guy. Oh, I actually forgot he was in the fucking game. I mean, Doom Guy. Oh my fucking days, man. I mean, Doom Guy doing the floss. I mean, I think that was the death of Doom right there. I'm not even exaggerating. Like, I mean, you have to have like some kind of like fucking. It's like wrestling. Like in wrestling terms, like kayfabe. Like you wouldn't have Undertaker. You wouldn't have the Undertaker doing Strictly Come Dancing, would you? Dancing on Ice. I don't know what the American is. I don't know if there's an American version of that. But you wouldn't have Undertaker fucking doing the ballerina. I mean, imagine. Just imagine the scene. Imagine the scene. Imagine the scene. Imagine it's the Attitude Era. World Wrestling Federation. The Attitude Era. Imagine the Phenom Undertaker. Imagine the Ministry of Darkness Undertaker right? You're watching Monday Night Raw, okay? And the Ministry of Darkness Undertaker, right? The Lord of Darkness himself, the Undertaker, right? Fucking, full fucking tattooed, fucking dark makeup, all dressed in black, fucking crucifying Stone Cold Steve Austin to a cross, kidnapping fucking Stephanie McMahon, and then the following week, he's in Strictly Come Dancing, doing ballerina with Paul Heyman or Paul Bearer and fucking, doing the spin and everything else. I mean, that's literally what it feels like. That's literally what it feels like when I see the likes of Doom Guy and Chris Redfield and Kratos in Fortnite. It's like, what the absolute fuck am I looking at? What's that saying in The Godfather? Look at how they massacred my boy. Or something. Whatever the fuck he says. Oh, sweet mother of Christ. So Fortnite is just a marketing. Oh, that's what it appears to be. Yeah, free advertising, or not free, but advertising in it. It's just wrong. Fortnite has no identity now. Just ruining everything. I agree. I mean, look at characters that don't have guns and they use guns in Fortnite. It's just cringe. Like Batman does not kill, but he does cringe dances and uses guns. It's just I don't know. You're right. It's just I like Batman, so I'm gonna get Batman in Fortnite. Oh, I don't know. But I suppose, oh god, I could do an entire fucking full scale live stream discussion on that note, to be honest. But I'm trying to kind of I'll kind of find that one gem and then I'm gonna recap what I'm saying. Like this is basically Toys for Bob versus Rockstar Games in terms of remasters. Who has the better remaster? That's basically that's basically what this live stream is. But let me find that missing gem and then I definitely have missing one, yeah, okay. I'm missing an egg as well, which is interesting. So it must be definitely an area that I haven't actually visited. Oh god. Sorry, I got off. No, you didn't go off topic. You're fine. Don't. Jesus, if anyone goes off topic on Green Hill Gaming, it's Green Hill Gaming. And anyone who knows me knows that's the case. I swear to God, I can go from having this big massive rant about the most fucking political sensitive topic you can imagine, and then I see a cat passing my house and I just start talking about a cat. So believe me, when it comes to off topic, I'm the king of off topic, so you're fine. Wait, did I go up there? That area up there I didn't go to, I don't think. That's where I have to go, but how the fuck do I... Or is it? I don't know. Oh, wait a second. I think... No, that's a different portal. Or is it? Do you know what? No, I'm so confused. I think she can hop up here. I think I actually have to give him the gems. And she hops up there, I think. Or else I go to her... I don't know. I forget. No. Too terrible. I mean, yes, Spyro and Crash are both good remasters. They're just perfect examples of a good quality remaster. In fact, they're actually they're bordering remakes. Like, I would say that Toys for Bob and what's the other company? Oh fuck, what's the other company? Jesus Christ. Oh, it's gone, I can't think of who they are. But it's bordering on remake anyway. But they won't give themselves the credit. Like, it's strange. I would consider this a remake. Maybe because a remake has to have some kind of, I don't know, maybe a remake has to completely remake it, like new story elements, stuff like new characters. Maybe there has to be some kind of criteria for a remake. That's probably what it is. But I just think in terms of quality, this is just this is beyond anything I've ever experienced when it comes to a remaster. You know, hands down. I mean, just compare this to wait a second. I think I know where to go. Or maybe not. No, I do actually. I have to go somewhere. Sorry now. Oh, I'm so tired. But I really want to find that missing gem. I mean, I swear to God, if they released this port and then next year we got the remaster, somebody's dying because that's just fucking with us. Even Nintendo with Metroid Prime Switch release. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was a remaster, wasn't it? Yeah. Definitely, yeah, because the thing is, like, that game released on GameCube and Wii, and both of those versions were in standard definition. So for the first time, Metroid Prime is in HD. Like, that automatically qualifies it as a remaster, because a remaster is nothing really in general. Like, again, this is an example of a legendary remaster. This is legendary, like the quality that was put into this. But like, a remaster is pretty basic. Really, like, once you upscale, you know, the textures slightly, it becomes a remaster. It's like watching an old movie in a Blu-ray. Like, that's remaster. Do you know what I mean? I'm still a little annoyed it was not the full trilogy, but still happy we got it. Yeah, I know, yeah. And apparently the next... There it is. But there's still an egg missing though. But apparently the next Metroid Prime 2 apparently is actually not... Is not going to be an actual, like, remaster, which is weird. Apparently they're just going to, like, do like a fucking Rockstar job and just, like, re-release it, which is really strange. I don't know how true that is though, because if that was the case, they would have just released it by now. The fact they haven't released it, like, I don't know, I don't think that's... I think they're going to remaster the same way that they remastered Metroid Prime 1, to be honest. Oh, I can't do this anymore, to tear it. But I'm going to wrap up the live stream there now, because I'm literally falling asleep. Okay. Title of the live stream. Take Two are an embarrassment to the video game industry. And that is so true. They're embarrassing themselves. They're embarrassing their legacy. They're embarrassing their consumers. They're embarrassing everyone around them. But more than anything else, they're just embarrassing themselves. When you have Toys for Bob that take 3 PS1 games, Spyro the Dragon, Spyro 2, and Spyro 3, and fully remaster those games in every way, making the most of the modern hardware that the consoles are released on. And then you have Take-Two Interactive saying, we don't just port games over. We take the time and effort to take advantage of modern hardware. That's what makes us different to the competition. And then they literally do what they said that they wouldn't do, and literally just port over the PS3 and 360 versions of Red Dead Redemption on PS4 and Switch with no enhancements whatsoever. That's why they're an embarrassment. Just compare Spyro Remake Trilogy to Red Dead Redemption. You know, but more importantly, compare like the PS1 versions of these games to the remaster. Anyway, I think I'm all Rockstar out. I'm all Take-Two out. I mean, I'm just might just drop a few discussions in here and there, like, as the situation develops. But I am gonna I'm gonna tell people every single time I go live. I'm gonna tell people, do not buy Red Dead Redemption. Just don't, because if you buy it, you are supporting this bullshit. Do you know what I mean? Sabertack, my good friend. Let me just read the rest of the comments, and then I will officially introduce you to the end of the live stream. To be honest, Alan Wake is a great game. I played it last night, but you weren't in the live stream, were you? No, I'm only joking. Man, I couldn't play anything right now. I'm so tired. I'm literally going to be ending the live stream. Thanks for dropping by, Sabertack. I appreciate that. But I'm going to get some sleep in a moment. I will only buy earlier one if it's 60 frames. Oh, we've got a frames per second guy. We were just talking about people like you earlier. People who just only buy games if they're 60 frames per second. Oh, Jesus Christ! I am not a dumb person who pre-orders. Well, the thing is, Sabertack, you shouldn't really be buying this game, because if you buy this game, then you are supporting like this type of behavior. Just don't buy it. Just don't buy it. Don't support this bullshit. It's not a remaster. It's not a remake. It's literally a PS3 and 360 game that released 10 years ago at full price. It's not even going to have multiplayer. I don't let 30 frames per second stop me, because well, then there you go then. Just fuck Red Dead Redemption then. Don't get it then. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, don't support Rockstar. Exactly. Honestly, what that needs an update of that version of Red Dead 2. I think people would have been more happy. Yeah, I think people would have been more happier if they had just released the PS5 version of Red Dead Redemption 2, to be honest. Don't buy this game. I'm going to buy it if it runs in 60 frames. Otherwise, no. I can understand where you're coming from, Saber. I do. I understand where you're coming from. I do. Because at least then you'll be getting a somewhat better experience. But I don't think it's actually going to be in 60 frames per second. I think that's pretty much confirmed. It's not going to be in 60 frames per second, because that would have to come down. Like that would have to be like a remaster. Like there would have to be something that they would have to done to the software. It's a straightforward port. To be honest with you, I'm not buying it. Honestly, we need to wait and see. Well, wait and see. But I'm telling you, like, don't buy it. Don't support Rockstar. They're absolute cunts. Don't support them. I normally don't tell people what to do, but that changes when it comes to this situation. Do not get this game. It's not a remaster. It's not a remake. It's not going to be in 60 frames per second, Saber. If it is, fair enough, but I don't think it's going to be. It's just literally the exact same game that you would have played before. Don't buy it. Buy something different. Buy a new game. Hell, even fucking get some fucking V-Bucks. Get some V-Bucks in Fortnite. Get anything other than Red Dead Redemption. Just don't support Rockstar. Because if you support them, you give them the money, then they're going to continue doing this shit. They're going to continue releasing this piss poor quality fucking... Saber, you mightn't like this game, okay? You mightn't be like a fan of these kind of games. That's fair enough. Okay, we all have our own preferences. But what you're looking at, Sabertack, is an actual remaster. Ah, fuck this guy. I'm actually literally not in the mood for this guy, seriously. I'm fucking putting him into... I'm just not able for him now. I'm too tired. I'm fucking too tired now for fucking Buckaroo. Buckaroo can fuck off, I'm telling you now. Jesus Christ. Honestly, we need to wait and see. I already own it on Xbox Series X. I bought it at $10, not buying it again. Yeah, it's only if you have an Xbox, just buy the 360 version. You can get it dirt cheap in the pre-owned store, and away you are. I don't know what else I can add to this, other than just don't buy Red Dead Redemption. Sabertack, if you're still listening, don't buy Red Dead Redemption. I know you're a fan of the fucking series, but you don't need to buy it. Like, you don't need to be supporting Rockstar for this shit, because they will continue releasing shitty ports, and they will continue that, and all their money will be put into fucking, like, just don't. You gotta hit him where it hurts. You know what I mean? Don't buy it. I'm telling you. Don't buy Red Dead. Exactly. Hashtag don't buy Red Dead. Just don't. Don't. I mean, if enough people get together and not buy it, like there'll be, I mean, like yeah, it'll sell reasonably well, but I can guarantee you it will not be anywhere near their sales expectations. Just don't buy it. Anyway, I'm gonna have to get some sleep before Buckaroo comes back. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next live stream.